Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. J'espère que vous avez eu une bonne conférence jusqu'à maintenant. I hope that you had a good panel sessions and you enjoyed the speakers. And just want to give you some updates about the conference that over close to 100 speakers from almost every aspect, every region of this country, from Nunavut to Atlantic Canada to Northern Ontario and Western Canada, from every sector, private sector, academia, government, and non-for-profit. They are here. This is somewhat unique in science and innovation policy seminars and conferences. And we are so proud of this broad representation of various sectors and various regions. And je suis très heureux que le ministre d'État pour Sciences et Technologies est ici avec nous. We are really proud to have Minister of State for Science and Technology, Minister Goodyear, with us today, and that has become a tradition. He was very kind enough to participate at our first conference, at our second conference in Montreal, and I think because he likes it so much, that shows the quality of our work, perhaps, and we are really appreciative of this, that Minister comes here again at our present at our third conference, and we are very glad to have this support from the Minister of State for Science and Technology. Can I call Honorable Yari Goodyear to come to the stage? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and please feel free to continue your lunch. I just finished mine, so if I have broccoli or something in my teeth, just let me know quietly. It's a delight for me to be here again this year. As has already been mentioned, this is not my first time at the conference. Clearly, this one looks like it's right in line to be a great success again this year. In fact, this is the third year of the conference, and my third year being here for the Canadian Science Policy Conference, and I think I can say without hesitation, from what I've already heard and being here myself again, this is really becoming a premier annual event, a way in which leaders can discuss, debate, and look to the future for Canadian science policy. And once again, as I've mentioned, you've put on a very impressive conference agenda, and I want to commend you for your commitment to science policy. And of course, I look forward to seeing the results of your work these few days. Ladies and gentlemen, I had the pleasure of addressing the conference in Montreal last year, where I laid out our government's plan to support and work with science research communities all across the country. And we've accomplished a great deal, I'm proud to tell you, since then, including a reversal of the brain drain. In August of this year, Prime Minister Stephen Harper announced the 2011 Vanier Canada Graduate Scholarships. These are valued at $50,000 per year for up to 3 years. They go to leading doctoral students studying in Canada. We did this, of course, not only to help these great folks, but to further brand Canada as a global center of excellence for research and higher learning. Now, as well, over the summertime, we announced the first recipients of the Banting Postdoctoral Fellowships, which, as many of you may know, provide $70,000 per year for 2 years to top-tier postdoctoral talent from Canada and abroad. These fellowships help recipients develop their leadership potential and, again, position them and our nation as research leaders for tomorrow. And in June, as part of Budget 2011, we announced the creation of 10 new Canada Excellence Research Chairs. And this program, ladies and gentlemen, offers up to $10 million over 7 years to internationally recognized researchers and their teams to conduct work in our Canadian institutions. And this fall, not very long ago, a few months ago, I had the honor to participate in the grand opening celebration of the new Stephen Hawking Center at the Perimeter Institute for Theoretical Physics in Waterloo. This, of course, was made possible in part, large part, by a contribution made by our federal government. And next year, 2012, I look forward to the opening of the brand new world-class facility at the Institute for Quantum Computing, again, which the federal government was proud to support with some $50 million. Now, since the launch of the Government of Canada's Science and Technology Strategy, which Prime Minister Stephen Harper launched in 2007, we've set forth on a very productive path. We've set out our research priorities. We've dramatically increased science and technology spending and investment. We've improved governance structures, and we've set the NRC on a very robust course for the future. We continue to support the NRC in its hands-on approach through a program such as the Industrial Research Assistance Program. And as you may know, this program works very closely with hundreds, if not thousands, of small and medium-sized businesses. The goal, of course, is to help them apply technologies of today to produce the new products and services and industrial processes of tomorrow. And of course, all of this is simply because, as the Prime Minister has said, we absolutely believe that science powers commerce. And here we go again today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very delighted to announce today our government's further investment in the groundbreaking scientific research, the Genomics Research and Development Initiative, or GRDI. As many of you may know, the GRDI coordinates activities of federal science departments and agencies in the fields of genomics research. 8 departments receive funding through the GRDI for a period of 3 years, and our government's investment this round is $59.7 million over 3 years. Congratulations. This marks, ladies and gentlemen, the 5th phase of this organization's initiatives. This support will further help address important issues in public health, the economy, agriculture, and of course the environment. Since its beginning, the GRDI has been very successful. It has produced a spin-off company. It's delivered insights into the pests and diseases that could affect Canada's important wheat and canola crops. It's contributed to water, forestry, and fisheries management. And it's developed a new method to assess the influenza virus for the targeted release of vaccines. And these, of course, are just a few examples of the achievements of this organization. The next phase will, of course, support targeted research once again on 3 priority areas: healthcare, food and water safety, and environmental sustainability and natural resource protection. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, our country now attracts the best and brightest minds in many scientific fields from around the world to conduct their work in our country. And we have an enviable capacity currently to develop the talent and produce the discoveries that are indeed the foundation of innovation. Our government's commitment is being noticed around the world as well. At a recent Canada-US partnership conference, we heard from some of the top innovative leaders from both of our countries about the importance of developing research clusters around our key economic corridors. And of course, we were all very proud to welcome next year's American Association for the Advancement of Science, which will be held in beautiful Vancouver. This will be the first time in 30 years that this event is being hosted in Canada. Last week, I had the pleasure to travel to Germany, where I met with a number of senior government officials and discussed collaborations between our countries' universities, and between our country's businesses. This year marks the 40th anniversary of the signing of the Canada-Germany Science and Technology Agreement. And ladies and gentlemen, over the past 40 years, I'm proud to tell you that more than 500 joint research projects have been successfully completed, and at any one time, there are some 100 in play in areas of mutual benefit to our countries: the environment, energy, nanotechnology, human health, and genomics. And we are committed, ladies and gentlemen, to building further on this foundation. But we will need the help of the private sector. The private sector and the public sector must work together to continue to build and demonstrate that real leadership is what's necessary in building Canada's prosperity. We will need all levels of government. We will need all levels of academia. And of course, we will need all sectors of business. This is very key in the success of going forward, literally because, again, as we look around the world, it is no secret that we continue to face difficult times. Global uncertainty is having an impact on economies all over the world, most notably in the European Union and United States. The global economy continues to face serious challenges, and we are deeply concerned. This will require continued strategic actions and a determined, focused set of plans. Our quality of life, ladies and gentlemen, will depend on all of us as a team pushing toward the common goal. Now, Canada has weathered this economic storm better than most countries. Indeed, we are the only G7 nation, I can tell you, to have recovered more than what was lost during the recession in terms of both output and jobs. However, global uncertainty and declining consumer confidence is of great concern to us today. Over the last few weeks, both here and abroad, my colleague, the Honourable Minister of Finance, Jim Flaherty, continues to re-emphasize our government's commitment to carrying out the next phase of Canada's Economic Action Plan and our objective of improving the well-being of Canadians, protecting their family incomes and their businesses over the long term by securing the recovery, eliminating the deficit, and investing in the drivers of long-term economic growth as well. Now, the uncertain economic front, which I know you did not plan on when you planned this conference, but I have to tell you, is a very good reason about the timing of this conference. It is indeed more important than ever that such conferences take place. All of us in this room understand that Canada's long-term economic performance, our sustainable economic growth, will be driven in large measure by science and innovation and the ability to move that knowledge into the marketplace. Our government understands this. We're deeply committed to this. And since coming to office, I think we can clearly say that it has been our priority. The Prime Minister understands that by encouraging new ideas and collaboration, as well as allowing promising research to flourish, we can tap into commercial opportunities in the marketplace, and we will generate revenue for our businesses. We will create more job opportunities for Canadians and an improved standard of living for all of us. Simply put, by investing in science, we are working to ensure that our economy continues to grow, that we continue to innovate in a greater percentage, that indeed we lead the world for our benefits. The CSPC's motto, Building Bridges for the Future of Science Policy, is an important reminder that governments, businesses, and researchers must work together to create an effective innovation network, an effective innovation ecosystem. This means we all need to do our part to build an environment that supports world-leading talent, builds and strengthens our knowledge economy, and moves us in the direction that the globe is going, and maximizes our returns on our financial investments and brings research and innovation to the marketplace ahead of our competitors. So today, more than ever, Canada's long-term economic competitiveness depends on ideas, creativity, creative thinking, and taking calculated risks more than ever before. In other words, it depends on innovation and collaboration amongst businesses, academia, and government, as I've said before. We need to participate in the paradigm shift. Change, ladies and gentlemen, has occurred around the world, and we must change beyond that. You know, measured as a percentage of GDP, Canada's higher education expenditures are indeed the highest amongst the G7. But we have clearly more work that can be done to set us straight for the knowledge-based economy of tomorrow. Despite high levels of federal support for business encouragement in research and development, Canada lags far behind. In this category, we are nowhere near number one. We lag behind in research and development of new products, processes, and new markets for existing products in our business communities. We lag behind in the commercialization of new products and services, and thus, we lag behind in productivity as a nation. This is a great opportunity when we consider how well Canada is doing amongst the rest of the world. Can you imagine how well we will do when we get this right? We know, as you do, that the private sector firms must do more, not just in spending more on research and development, which they must do, but making it part of their business strategy day to day and translating that expenditure into new products, services, better jobs, more jobs, higher paying jobs. And that's exactly why, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, that's why I launched the Research and Development Review Panel headed by Tom Jenkins to review the very generous numbers of programs that the federal government has to encourage businesses to do more research and development. Now, last month, I just received the report. Many of you have seen the report. I will tell you that we are studying its recommendations with great sincerity and great consideration. At the same time, as this report comes out and we look at the totality of a number of other reports we've had in the past, more broadly based, we are also looking at a new strategy for Canada's digital economy. Further, we will soon launch a comprehensive review of all the programs and policies concerning the aerospace sector, with a view again to maximizing the nation's competitiveness and optimizing the investments of taxpayer dollars. These are just a few of some of the initiatives that are in play by our government that we believe firmly are necessary and will build on the foundation that we have laid out for our future prosperity. And through these types of initiatives that I've outlined, I think it's clear, ladies and gentlemen, that again, I can tell you that our work has already begun in earnest, and we are there to deliver results. It is in our best collective interests, ladies and gentlemen, to continue to collaborate, to work together as a team, to be innovative through our investments, through technology transfer, and through expanded networks of cooperation that link our universities and their research capacities, our colleges and their research and technical capacities with research organizations and our business industrial communities. All levels of government, all ages of academia, and all sectors of industry. I know that that's much easier said than done, believe me. But I also know that we can do it. We are Canadians, by the way. The sky is not the limits. And I want to thank you on that note for giving me the opportunity to spend some time with you. I encourage you at this conference, and I look forward to the results of it. Stay in touch, as I will. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much, Mr. Goodyear. It was really a pleasure to listen to the insights that you provide for the group. You have indicated the importance of cross-sectoral collaboration and dialogue, something that we hope that CSPC has contributed to, and also the importance of international collaboration and benchmarking the good practices from other nations, and of course, the importance of new investment in science and technology, and that was a very good news, and I think the scientific community should be very happy and pleased with the new announcement, and also the indication of the changes in science, in society, in innovation landscape, in the international landscape of innovation and science and technology, and the need for an upgrade in our science policy landscape as well, and to provide an effective ecosystem of innovation, as you put it, Minister. And we hope that CSPC provide and contribute to that effective ecosystem of innovation. And once again, I thank you for your presence here, and we look forward to see you next year at CSBC, wherever it's going to be held. Thank you very much. Thank you.